Thank you very much for joining me. And Suniel Shetty, it's such a pleasure to have you. Relaxed, dad, granddad, actor, restaurateur, and I read your bio that you use on your social media, and I see the several shades of your personality that are there. It says sportsman at heart. Um Always that, or after your son-in-law?
No, more so after my son-in-law. Now the heart is only there, literally there at home, but always, always.
And then you say actor by art, humanitarian by virtue, and businessman by default. Why by default?
Default because, probably because of dad's situation, when he was unwell is the time that I got pushed into business at an early age, 15, and then got obsessed with it, obsessed with making, seeing that so many people were taken care of while you were also making money. It was also about making sure that everybody was inclusive, and that's why I say that, because it was default. After that, which I went into films early in my career, then still try to dabble with business, but that default switch that was on helped me go through even my worst periods.
32 years in cinema.
Absolutely.
How's the going been, and what drives you every day? I believe you're still coming up with films. Kesari Veer coming up. You have Welcome to the Jungle coming up. What drives you after all of these years to push yourself?
See, seen the highs, the lows, seen the love that you get. I believe cinema is, being an actor is, and a grounded one is like a passport to anybody's heart. The love, the affection, the growth that I've seen personally. Then came a time when dad was unwell. I took a complete sabbatical. Not that I took it completely because of that, because also my films weren't doing well and I didn't want to do any kind of crap that was there. So took a break. Now come back doing a lot of work. But at the same time, now looking for that one film that is a box office success, and I can probably step back and say, you know what?
Sab kuch kar liya.
Sab kuch kar liya. My last few films didn't work at the box office. And that is something that hasn't left a very good taste in my mouth, because I know for a fact that there were mistakes I made. Whatever. I wore my heart on my sleeve and, went into emotions and did films, but that's my doing. So I just want to make sure that I undo that, and that's why I give it my best even today.
So, what genre actually excites you? The Main Hoon Na, the villainous role where you got a Filmfare Award as well, or Dhadkan, mushy, romantic hero, of course, with some shades of grey there, or Hera Pheri, out and out, a comic film, great humor. What makes Suniel Shetty tick?
I think something that a film like Kesari Veer, because it talks about our unsung heroes, a film like Border, Hera Pheri, yes, because I also believe that is also a film that makes a lot of difference to the mental state of kids that are there today. Everybody talks stress, everybody talks anxiety. I think those are the films that keep you relaxed and say, you know what, this is life. This is what life is all about. Struggles are always there, but you can come out of it and still try and be happy. So I think it's a mix. But if I can do something from a country perspective, nothing like it.
Border, of course, army officer, and I think it's the best film that's been made, of course. I mean, every film that you see in that genre, Hakikat onwards, that we remember.
Yes.
But Border in our times has been an iconic film. Is Kesari Veer taking you? You're saying this country. Do you think this is also the time where, we have Kesari Chapter 2 coming in, we have Diplomat coming in, this country fervor that is coming into films.
It should be. That should be the narrative. Every film has to have a narrative, and it has to have a narrative that is positive. Like I said, a Hera Pheri that keeps people happy, or a Kesari 2, or a Kesari Veer, or a Chhawa, or any of those films that talks about our heroes, our unsung heroes. We were only taught about Aurangzeb and Shah Jahan and Akbar and Birbal. What about Vegda? What about the other heroes that are there? Every story from the smallest of town has to be told. America has always followed that narrative, always created heroes that, and made their army, their air force, and they look like the only nation that is supposed to be numero uno. Why? We are bigger culturally and otherwise. And that's what needs to go out. Today, every part of us, post the pandemic, whether it was yoga, whether it was Ayurveda, it was healing through food, has gone out to the world, and the world is looking at that, whether it's a spiritual journey that they want to follow. It is India that they are doing. When were people ever aware of the fact that, young kids wanting to go for Char Dham, wanting to go to see Mahadev, go to the best of temples? I think that is happening because of the narrative. In the last 10, 12 years, with this government, it's been very clear that you sell your India story and you'll see success. And these films are seeing success. I've realized that the gap that is there purely because the Indian audience is looking for a Maruti car to buy, and we're telling them, you know what, buy a Rolls Royce, it's a better car. Well, that's not the way it is. Your audience is completely different and has changed.
But let me ask you, when you say the country's changed in the last 10, 12 years, aren't you scared you'll be trolled because there are people who will call you Sanghi, they will call you Modi Bhakt, and that's not very fashionable in the world that you come from?
I believe in my country all through these years. That narrative I'm seeing there now, so I'm excited. So that hasn't changed me as an individual. I did border even then. I did a Mehuna because I believed that that army man was right in what he did. He knew who the opposition was. He knew that you need to stop something to win our hearts. You treat us like we treat you and everything will be good. So I've always done films like that. Every film of mine was good over evil. And it was a very clear good over evil. Every film where I wore a uniform gave me success, and I realized that that's what people want to see. People want to see a rags to riches story. People want to see somebody overcome, maybe the troubled times in life and see better times and take people along with them.
But there are others in Bollywood who probably feel more moved by Gaza than by Pahalgam.
I think it takes all kinds to in this world. But for me, Pahalgam matters more than anything else. Of course, Gaza matters when it comes to human lives, for sure. But these are also my very own. This is a part of my country that has always been very, very close to our hearts. And the kind of fear that is being generated around that is keeping us away. That is something that we should
You tweeted immediately after Pahalgam, and you said that we should continue to do our vacations in Kashmir.
Continue to do our vacations, continue not to, let fear take over, let people not divide us for any reason, because that's the aim. And if we are not divided, we stand united, it's so beautiful.
Operation Sindoor. Do you think this was an Indian victory, or do you believe the narrative that is being spun around, not just by Pakistan, but also by some people within our own country, especially in the political class, who like to believe कि हमारी धुनाई हो गई, हमें पीट दिया, and it was dictated by China and US, and we are a pygmy in this entire world stage. How do you see it from your perspective?
See, you said it's a narrative, and I believe it's a narrative. It's genuinely a narrative. And as far as I see it, I see Bharat Ma, I see Colonel Qureshi, and I see Wing Commander Colonel Singh. That's how I see my India. And that's the way I see, how we even hit back and said, I see my army, the chief of army, navy, air force sit together and give you clear proof of what has happened. They showed you what were images of a week ago and a week later. And that's the narrative I believe in. Those are the people I've grown up admiring, worshipping, and that's the only narrative I'll take back home. So for me, I see it as a country that is clear that it wants to harm those organizations that are harming us and not anybody else. And that's how we went ahead with our operation. There were no civilians that were hurt intentionally. Collateral damage happens. There was no There was no public place that was impacted. We've been troubled constantly. and we hit back only there. There was nothing else that we did, and that's what Bharat and Bharat ki sabhyata and our culture is all about.
But then who gains from these divisions that get reflected? In fact, today, the foreign minister has been called a mukbir, a spy. How do you respond to these
I think this is social media. We've got to stop responding and continue to.
This is press conferences.
Political gain. I mean, I'm not a politician, so I genuinely wouldn't know what and how they would benefit. Probably because of the majority that exists in the current government, and one doesn't see hope, is when one makes statements like those. You know, even Bollywood, it's constantly being targeted. I mean, we are people who've been involved in telling the narrative of the country. Actors are scared to speak today because either way they'll get hammered. You know, and a lot of them are saying, "Oh, Bollywood hasn't said something." Maybe Bollywood is making movies to tell that to get that narrative.
Are you buying the rights of Operation Sindoor as the buzz has it?
No, not me, but I know other people would. I would have loved to to be able to again tell that narrative and tell our story, not from a money perspective. You know, if Bollywood does it, they'd always say, "हाँ, पैसे बनाने के लिए कर रहे." नहीं, narrative देने के लिए कर रहे. अगर नहीं खराब बनी तो नहीं चलेगी. लेकिन आप अगर देश की कहानियों के बारे में बात करोगे, and if you talk that narrative, you will see a big difference. Why are films otherwise, you know, these kind of films successful films?
Is there a debate within Bollywood on whether Hania Aamir or Mahira Khan or Fawad Khan should be actors? Should we allow Pakistani actors to be part of Bollywood? They don't allow any of our actors to be part of their.
So I've been always very vocal about saying, no, they shouldn't be a part of our cinema. Why should we? Not because we are not being allowed, but because from that very own country, in that very own country, exist these organizations. So why should be? You take care of your organization, make sure it doesn't harm us, and then over a period of time, maybe if the government believes and the people believe that there should be harmony, there will be harmony. But as of now, I've always said that we should not allow anybody from there to be a part of our cinema.
So let me ask you, with a film like Kesari Veer, what is the message that you want to bring? Unsung heroes, fine, but are these films expensive and will they break even? Is that something that bothers the financiers, the producers, the actors working in it?
Definitely, because it impacts your market. It impacts it. It's a producer mind. Kesari Veer working is very important here because it's a first-time producer. You know, he did the first film with this budget, in spite having smaller actors from a recovery perspective, not making business sense because of the passion he has. He's from Gujarat. His wife, who passed away, said, "If you ever make a movie, I want you to do it on Somnath because the story is beautiful." So for him to work, and if he has to stay in this industry, the film has to work. Financially, it has to work. But at the same time, I believe that these are stories that people are lapping up. You know, where we talk about dharma, karma, and seva. What are we Hindus all about? And that we've never gone outside. We've never tried to convert. We've never tried to harm anybody else. But if somebody came into our country, we've fought tooth and nail. This talks about 150 men fighting an army of over 4,000 people and being able to stop that plundering that was planned. So it's one of the attacks on Somnath. So I feel, you know, it's about the first Jyotirling, it's about Mahadev. So I feel that connect is definitely there. And, today I see a whole new generation looking at that. It could be for mental peace. It could be to believe that it makes a difference to your being. I see that difference.
In our childhood, maybe Amar Chitra Katha filled that gap.
Yes.
Now
cinema.
The present generation.
Cinema, AI, I mean, see the mantras, see the shlokas, see the images that of whether it's Shiva, Vishnu, Hanumanji, that you see that AI is generating. That's when you say AI is brilliant here. It's telling you a story. To be able to tell a child a story visually leaves a solid impact.
Amazing. Am I talking to a very mellowed Sunil Shetty, not the angry young man of you're now a nana, you're a grandpa, you know, son-in-law, launching your son. You've been through this.
True.
How does your role as a grandfather compare to all the other roles that you've played so far?
The best role ever, and
The real life grandpa.
real life, and I know she'll be with me till my dying day. So that's something I know that'll be there, and I'll continue to look forward. They say, sood se.
Asal se sood pyara.
Yeah, mool se sood pyara. That's exactly, I think, the feeling right now, and bliss. Being an actor, being busy through the day, having no 9 to 6 kid, but a 9 to next morning 9 also at shoots sometimes. You miss the children growing up. Though I made an attempt to take them with me. I made an attempt to take a Sunday holiday. But here it's out of...
So what do you do? What do you do with your granddaughter?
Right now, just watching her grow. Watching her grow, watching Thea, admiring Thea grow into that mother. Watching Mana suddenly becoming the responsible and crazy loving Nani. Ahan, that Mamu, So it's just that, just enjoying the simple things in life.
Simple? Are they simple? What's the sense? Have you actually done any grandpa duties of carrying the baby, putting her to sleep?
Carrying the baby, yes. Trying to put her to sleep, yes. But I'm still scared because she's really tiny. So, the tendency...
Are there any duties divided?
Between mother and daughter. And I think the mama and the nana have to make sure that they are around.
And how is it like handling a very popular son-in-law, KL Rahul, iconic cricketer? Difficult, or is he?
No, he's like a little baby. I mean, I keep telling Thea she's blessed. She's blessed to have someone like him in her life.
His career ups and downs. Does he come to you for advice?
Never. He always says, my bat will talk. And his only obsession is playing for the country. There's no other obsession. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, any position. He says, I want to play for my India. And that's the beauty. So it's, what will I tell him? It's only advice that, or only inspiration that I'd take, or Ahan would take, or any one of us would take.
But at home, are star cricketers and star actors, how do they talk to each other? How do they treat each other? Like stars?
No, not at all. Like pure family. It's like me having 2 sons, a daughter, and mother at home, and it's just board games and nothing else, and just chit chat.
What next, Suniel Shetty? What would you want to do next? What's the next, unfulfilled goal that you have in mind?
To continue this fitness till my dying day, and make sure that...
I hope you're not being sarcastic
No,
with
I'm
me.
not. No. You're a grandmother too now. So you know what? I think for both of us, it's about being able to pick up that grandchild and keep up with their energy, because that energy is energy that you will never see anywhere. That energy you will never see anywhere.
So what is your fitness regime like? Are you still pumping iron like you used to?
No. I understand that I'm aging, and I just want to make sure that I'm not hunching, I'm not dragging my feet. So I do a lot of functional stuff to keep that structure going. I eat, I quantify my food, but I train 1 hour, 1.5 hours every morning, from probably 6 to 7:30. And
6 to 7:30?
Yeah, keep it simple, because there's a lot of stretching, warm up and cool down.
Bollywood people get up that early in the morning?
I do. I sleep by 10:30. See, you know what? The thing is, Bollywood is the toughest industry to be a part of. Everybody sees the glamour of it. But to stay in shape, to make sure that you're always watched, that you're at your best behavior, to make sure that you're saying the right things all the time, it's the biggest pain.
Anna, what next? What defines Sunil Shetty? And is Hera Pheri 3 actually going to happen?
You know what? I'm
Paresh
really,
Rawal's made his statement.
yeah, I know, and it's a shock actually. It's like,
Do you think either of you three walks out of the film will be the same?
no way. No.
Akshay, yourself,
no,
Paresh?
no. No, it can't happen. It can't happen.
So what's the mystery? Are you saying you haven't picked up the phone and spoken to him?
I did speak to Pareji. I called him, but he didn't seem very happy, and said, "Anna, we'll talk." So I've left it at that. You have to give him that space, and he has to understand, and probably we'll understand why it happened. I'm telling you, I'm in a state of shock.
Is there room for maneuver there?
I hope there is.
Okay, so we're waiting for the next word on Hera Pheri 3, but eagerly looking forward to your film Kesri Jeev coming up 23rd of May. Sunil Shetty, do you do anything that is superstitious before a film release?
No, I used to at one time, but
Like what? What's the
now-
craziest thing that you've done?
I mean, probably go to all the temples possible, and go to areas where there's a lot of walking to do, believing that this will, create that magic. But now, honestly, focus on the work, focus a lot more on the post-production of things with the directors, understanding it, and give it your best shot. Because now it's about what your content is. There were times when sometimes bad films also worked. Today that doesn't happen. Today, because 1 in 100 films are working. So for that to happen, you better have a great product. And somewhere down the line, seeing the appreciation for this, I'm hoping that we at least, it's only about scraping through now. Sailing through, we'll see.
Absolutely. Okay, just a rapid fire in the end. Your favorite film starring Sunil Shetty?
Border.
Okay, that didn't take very long. Your favorite actor?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Your favorite actress?
There were a lot. Sharmila Tagore, Mumtaz Ji. I mean, huge fan of theirs.
None of the present lot?
President Alia Bhatt. I think she's absolutely brilliant as an actor. Brilliant.
And your favorite political leader?
My Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi.
I told you, you're a Modi Bhakt, you're a Sanghi. That's how you're described on social media, if you give this answer.
But that doesn't matter. I love the man because he's made us aware about our culture, our people. And if tomorrow there's another leader who believes in the same, I'm his fan. I mean, Gadkari ji, I love him for the kind of work that he's doing. Every time I drive on a highway and I see, wow, this is a highway to heaven, I know he's responsible for it. So people who are great for the country are the people you wish good for.
Okay. As an Indian citizen, your message to Pakistan?
Leave us alone. We've never, ever indulged. Leave us alone. Help your own people by putting an end to the organizations that exist in your in your own backyard. Because when we travel and you meet Pakistani general public, there's a lot of love for India. There's a lot of love for our cinema, our music, our actors, our sportsmen. Try and get rid of people from your own backyard, and let's not deny that they don't exist in our backyard.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, thank you very much, Sunil Shetty. Always a pleasure speaking with you, and always a pleasure going down memory lane from Balwan, Gopi, Border, Dhadkan, to Hera Pheri, Main Hoon Na, and beyond. Waiting for Hera Pheri 3 and your update on that. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me here. Always lovely.